Today, I'm going to show you a product that ended up working for me for a short period of time, and I'm going to explain exactly why I completely stopped running it. But before we do that, I want to make sure that you guys get the opportunity to ask any question you want. So whether you're an experienced person inside of e-commerce or you're just starting, take this opportunity to drop a question down below that might have nothing to do with this video. I'm going to go through and answer as many as they are. I don't care if it's hundreds of them. We're going to go through, answer them all, and I'm probably going to make a video doing a full Q&A answering your questions. And while you're down there, make sure to smash the like button. Hey, what's going on everyone? Hayden here, coming back at you with a brand new video, and like always, this is nothing new. We're coming at you with an e-commerce video. However, in this one, I'm actually going to show you a product that produced $17,000 in sales in the first 2 weeks. It was about 13 days, so just under 2 weeks, did about $17,000 in sales. I ultimately ended up stopping this store for multiple reasons, which I'm going to get into, but I want to explain how I found the product, why I thought it would be really good and ultimately ended up not turning out to be that way, or at least wasn't something I wanted to do. However, I want to explain what that process looks like on taking something from an idea into a real business that's producing thousands of dollars and eventually thousands of dollars a day with online sales, okay? So we're going to kind of walk you guys through that entire process. Again, if you have any questions along the way, make sure to leave it in the comments section down below. We do talk a lot about e-commerce on this channel, so make sure to subscribe. And before we get into this, I do want to let you guys know we're doing the biggest holiday sale ever on the 30-Day E-Commerce Academy. I do strongly encourage you to just open it up in a new tab, but keep watching this video because I want to share this product with you really quick. It is something you could definitely still sell, but I'm going to explain why I personally stopped doing it and didn't ultimately have a lot of success, even though it made $17,000 in revenue. Now, the last video I made, someone commented and said, well, Hayden, all these new stores you start, you have data, so it's not really fair because, us new people who are getting into it, we don't have data, bro. It's all about data. And while data is super important nonetheless, I do not have data on certain new stores that I'm starting because data essentially means a huge order list from customers in a specific niche. So for example, if I were to sell, let's say, cameras, right? I got a camera right here. If I sell cameras and I sell 1,000 of these, well, now I have 1,000 people's information. That's data from people who are interested in cameras. So now if I try to go sell water, well, it's completely different people, right? I guess water would be applicable to anyone, but anything, right? So it's a completely different thing when you're starting a new store. And over time, I've sold dozens and dozens of different products in different niches. So now I have most of the bases covered, and usually something will relate at least slightly, so that can help me kickstart it. However, as you're about to find out from this product, it's a really weird product. It's something I'm not personally into at all. And I feel like it's somewhat a niche market, but it's broad enough where you could totally scale it. I do know people doing millions of dollars a year with this specific product or these product types. So it's definitely something you could do. Without further ado, let's go ahead and show you this product. I'm just going to kind of throw up screenshots as we go. So if you guys have not seen what this is known as an aroma therapy diffuser. Okay, there's a bunch of different names for these. These could be just oil diffusers. Essentially, they're these little oils, these like incense type of things. These oils you drop in. It's almost like a big vape, I guess, but it just smells good. And I guess there's certain science and stigma, both ends of it, around what this smoke and what the ingredients inside of there does for you. Okay, I actually have some entrepreneur friends of mine who are big into this stuff. They make sure they have a little one on their desk and they like the smell of it. They say it helps them focus. I don't know. But anyways, this is a product that I saw, and the reason I actually came across this is because, like a lot of times, I don't want to say like always, I kept seeing the same ad over and over again. This ad was actually on my Facebook feed. I saw something that had about 2.6 million views and something like 18,000 comments. So one quick tip for you when you're trying to find products, if you see any video, any ad of any level selling any sort of product, even if it's like kind of an indirect push, well, if there's tens of thousands of comments, even just thousands, that is a direct indication that people are engaging with and probably purchasing that product. Because you have to think about it. What do you do when you come across an ad? Almost every single time, you barely stop. You're looking at it for half a second. Nope, you keep going. So when you have an ad or a product that stops and grabs people's attention that much to the point where people are commenting, they're taking a moment to watch the video or look at the picture, engage with everyone on there, that directly lets you know that that's probably a winning product. So that's kind of what I was thinking when I saw this product. I went ahead, did a little bit of research, and by the way, this was about 7 or 8 months ago. Actually, no, it was a year ago. It was the holiday season last year. So this is something where I went ahead, I went and got sourcing for it from my supplier. It really wasn't the greatest pricing since I wasn't ordering this in bulk. So here's the problem. The certain one that I wanted to sell because I knew it was a little bit unique was about $13. And most people are selling them for about $30. So here's the first, maybe a little bit of a red flag, but your margin, what you should be looking for is definitely more than that $17 gap. So for an example, if you're getting a product for $13, packaged, shipped, and out the door, full cost is $13, and you can only get $30 for it. And we'll talk about raising the price in a moment. That's a $17 gap. And yeah, you're gonna have a lot of ad sets inside of Facebook ads, whatever you're doing for your marketing, you're probably gonna be able to have certain things that make money, but not everything will. The typical margin I'm looking for is I don't really want my product costs to exceed, at the worst case scenario, 1/3 or 33% of what I'm selling it for. In this case, it did go over that. That was about, I think, about a 40% product cost, which I've had multiple stores that I do really good numbers on that have like a 40% product cost. The problem is the margin is very rarely over 20%. And when you're deciding to start something that's gonna take a lot of time, any e-commerce business, I'll be the first one to tell you, it's not easy. It does become simple once you get the hang of it like anything, but at the end of the day, it is something that takes time, it takes a lot of work, and it does take money. So when you decide to start something with a new product and you realize that the margin's not that good on the front end, you have to make the decision of, is it worth it to continue doing this product? So here's what happened. Was selling the product for $29.99. There were competitors doing it for $29.99. It was on Amazon for like $23, which was, obviously Amazon's a little bit less, but there's brands selling it for $40, $50. So long term, I knew that once I got it working, I could slowly start raising the price. And what I do whenever I'm trying to raise the price is I just do it very slowly. I'll raise it like from, $29.99 to like $32.99, and I won't touch it for a week. I'll just watch to see what happens, because the key thing you want to look for there is, are a lot less people buying because it's just $3 more. And the biggest difference you're going to want to look for is when you go up what we call an entire category. So when I go from the 2s, right, 29 to a 3 in front of it, that's a whole nother level. So usually I like to consider it maxing out that level. So if I'm going to sell something for $24.99, I'm probably just going to sell it for $29.99, right? The consumer, the potential consumer, they're probably just going to still associate it with being around $20 or something like that. So it's really that first number that is important. So keep that in mind when you're pricing your products. I do see people who sell stuff for like $30.99. And I just kind of laugh, maybe it works for them, but usually I get a much better purchase conversion rate, and the amount of purchases are way more when it's following kind of that maxing out rule. So that's kind of how I'm raising the price. So the only way I did marketing for this store, the absolute only thing I did for this product was running Facebook ads. There was a video that the supplier had created. I have a supplier where they only have certain products. They obviously don't have millions of them, but they actually make their own video ads for their clients to use, and they only do it on their popular products, and that's one reason why I knew this one was working. They're like, hey, we actually have a video ad for it. But the video ad was somewhat good. There were probably a few other people running it. It was kind of a basic thing, but it gave me something to get started. So I didn't have to actually order the product, wait a little while, like 10, 15 days, and then get something shot, edited, posted, and all of that good stuff. So what I did is I went ahead and put that as a page post on my Facebook account for this store that I'd created, and I started running ads. Again, no data. So what I did is what's called interest targeting. There's a lot of different things. Aromatherapy is one. You could do different things. I was trying yoga, all sorts of things that I thought would relate, meditation, stuff like that. I just kind of think about a list of 10 to 15 different categories that would relate to the potential customer that I'm trying to reach. So I go ahead and I launch an ad set for each of those, right? It's doing what's called flex targeting. That's where you have one interest per ad set inside of your Facebook ads. So essentially, I launched that. Over the course of the 2 weeks, I started increasing the spend. The sales started flowing in. Day 1, we didn't have any sales. Day 2, I got like 2 or 3, and it started picking up pretty quickly. So it was impressive to see that it did do $17,000 over the course of like the 13 or 14 days. I'm considering it 13 because that first day I didn't get sales. So it's really 14. But what happened is the product never actually made too much profit. So here's what I mean by that. what do you consider average profit to be? And this is back to the margin point. Well, 15% would be acceptable as long as you can scale it. That's okay. That's the low end. You would ideally like 25% or more. That's a solid number to be hitting. At least a quarter of your revenue should be kept in pocket for you, right? Well, usually you can have stuff eventually 30 and 35 and 40%. This did $17,000 in sales. My profit was like $85. So it basically, I consider it broke even, because after the Shopify fees and crap like that, it's going to be break even. So what happened with this, I wasn't sure if it was the ad account, but at that time of the year, your ad cost can potentially be a lot higher. Your CPP, your cost per purchase, and your CPM is going to be a lot higher usually around the holiday season, especially if you're a new advertiser. Because what happens, Facebook works on a bidding system. So around the holidays when a lot of people are buying, Facebook pays very close attention to who they actually allow to get a purchase. So they're kind of conducting your ad, weaving in and out of the purchases, kind of like letting you miss all these people who would buy and just letting you collect all the people who wouldn't, letting them see your ad. That's kind of how Facebook works if you want to think about it like that. So I figured, hey, I'm going to slow this back down after 2 weeks. I had another store that was doing way, way better that I just started at the same time. So what I did, I waited. I didn't do anything with that store for about 2 months. I completely forgot about that store for another 30 days. So what happened is I tried to pick that one back up and running. Same thing happened. And that $17,000 is just in the first 2 weeks. Started doing like $500 a day again. I could not get it profitable, okay? Now, I do want to do a little bit of a disclaimer here because I don't want to discourage someone from selling this. Or if you are selling it, by the way, shout out to you. It's not just the fact that it doesn't work. I did not have my own video ad. I didn't put all that much effort into it because my focus was elsewhere. But my main focus there, and the point of this video, is I tested a product. I tested it very hard. I put money behind it. I put time behind it. It wasn't like my full focus, but I launched all those ad sets. I was very, very, let's say controlling, right? Controlling of those ad sets. I like to look at them every single day. If something's spending money and it's not working after a few days, it's gone. Cut it off, right? So I kept launching new things, kept testing more interest, launching retargeting, going very intense with the ads. And again, it did take time and it did take money, but ultimately it did not really start seeing more profit. And the way that I work when it comes to e-commerce is super simple. If I'm launching multiple things like tests at the same time, which is usually what I do, I like to just focus on what works. So if I have 3 things, one flops, is just completely losing money, one's break even, and one is working well with like a 3 ROAS, it's like tripling my money. What do you think I'm going to focus on? I'm going to focus way more on the other one. And what's funny is this was last year. I still, to this day, run the store that I decided to put more focus on. So that's kind of what you have to do when you're testing new products. But when you want to test one, I do recommend you try to test multiple if you have the budget for it, because it kind of lets you or allows you to see which one's going to work better. Again, so that's something I like to do. I usually test 3 to 5 new stores at a time, because when you're first setting up your ads, you might spend 4 or 5 hours on one store. But then you don't have anything to do for 2 to 3 days, at least. So I can go 5 hours one day on this store, 5 hours on the next. That's just one day, 5 and 5, and then 5 and 5. You can easily be running multiple stores if you have the time that allows you to do that. So that was the main focus of what I did here. If you guys want to go ahead and sell this product, I do definitely recommend that you order it yourself, get your own video ad, and maybe you could try and price it higher. My whole philosophy with pricing is you got to start low, because when you have no engagement, no social proof, right? Like no likes or comments on your ad, the odds of people just wanting to buy it right away, especially if it's much more expensive than any competitor, is like this much. It's very low. So you have to start low, get that data first, let Facebook start helping you out, build some data, and then from there, you could very easily start raising the price. Again, slowly, just slowly bump it up and see if that works. That might help your margin. So for anyone who's trying to do e-commerce into 2020, it is a booming business, as you guys see. Another record day on Black Friday and Cyber Monday for the e-commerce industry as a whole, as well as Shopify itself. So definitely look at those statistics. If you guys are looking to do anything e-commerce related, feel free to browse around this channel. I think we have over 600 or 700 videos, a good majority of those relating to e-commerce. And don't forget, if you have any questions, make sure to drop it in the comment section down below. All I ask in exchange for doing that is that you smash the like button. Let's try and break 1,000 likes. And for anyone who wants to take this super in depth and jump right into it right away, go ahead and check out the 30-day e-commerce academy while we still do have that discount going on, just so you can make sure to save your spot in there. First of all, before it closes in March, March, but to make sure you can do that at a very heavy discount, which by the way is 50% off. So check that out. If that's the right purchase for you, it's the right investment, it's the right thing you want to focus on to do e-commerce the same exact way that myself and my business partners do it, then we would love to see you inside of that group. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to tune back in. I post 3 times a week here on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So with that being said, I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.